Yes, health-wise the same. Everyone came out okay, so that's it. Any questions?
Haas, I know you talked about the other night, continuing to get better. I guess with the knee, is that fair to say? Or?
Yeah, I thought he looked as good as he's looked. Even you go back to the first Providence game, he looked like a totally healthy guy. So, and that was one of his best games of the year, maybe best games of his career, until the last couple minutes, where we finally were able to go from down 14 to up 12, and then tried to lose the game again. So that was fun to relive that. It feels like there's been a lot of games like that.
And he, obviously you guys have navigated this before, but Ramadan I think starts tomorrow, so he and Sampson I assume will be going through that.
Yeah. So I think we have one or maybe another too.
Ahmad?
Youssef.
Oh, Youssef.
Youssef, and I think I don't.
Rich does it too.
Rich Kelly. I think Ahmad's doing it, but I don't know. And then when I asked him about his faith, I think he may be just doing it to support the guys or to experience it.
Rich did last year.
That's why
Rich is doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And Ahmad the other night, he gave a good 6 minutes to spell Hassan there.
Yeah, I thought that helped Hassan in the second half. Ahmad, I thought he had a couple nice passes. He was able to get a big finish, and then have the ball in position to hit a guy using a screen. We've missed a lot of things this year, just as a team. In the offense, just having people open, but we've just been under so much duress in terms of ball pressure that it was good to see Ahmad be able to, I think, find Alex on that play.
Is Aiden on the outside looking in right now?
I think it's all game. It's game to game right now. Like who's going to be in those, 8th, 9th. Obviously you've got, whichever one of Taris and Sampson is playing better is going to get the minutes. Whichever matchup is more favorable is going to get the minutes. And then obviously you got Jalen Stewart and what you do at 8, 9 just depends on how people looked in practice. Obviously Aiden had one of his better games against Providence, so and then he practiced well today. I'm sure it's not sitting well with Aiden to not play in the last game. So I think he was obviously he was locked in practice.
Have you thought about starting Taris instead of Sampson the way he's been playing, or do you like what Taris brings off the bench with his energy?
Yeah, obviously part of our success the last couple of years is having a great bench and getting that production from the bench and having 2 centers that are contributors and I'd say just Taris for himself, just getting himself to the point where that can consistently be who he is on a every single possession basis is what eventually is going to lead to him being a starter, doing it every single day, every single possession, highest motor, not having the huge highs and lows, just finding that consistency for him is going to unlock so much value for him in his career. But yeah, I mean we're at I got 3 regular season games left. If he plays great, he'll play as many minutes as he played the other night, which is starter minutes plus.
You talked the other night about kind of deprogramming the offense and asking guys to just go make plays if they're there.
Yeah.
Can that help against a team like Providence that can really get after you?
Yeah, I mean just giving these guys a little more just freedom to to play. And get outside the system. I don't think it's something we've had to do, the last couple of years because we were so lethal on stops, off block shots. We would just get out and go make plays, and obviously on dead balls and made baskets, you got to be able to execute. And then maybe when something gets guarded well, you have to have players that could play off script and drive the ball and finish, or drive the ball and bodies rotate to them, and they could spray the ball somewhere.
Do you have those guys who can play off script, and you just have to encourage them to do that now?
Yeah, we do. It's I think they have it in their capability to do it. I think Solo's gotten better at playing with a live dribble and getting in the paint. Now it's about finishing and decision making. It's what you want Alex to do more, and Liam to create, and Hassan to pick his spots. And Jalen Stewart is a much better one-on-one player than he's been able to show here. He's got more ability that way. I think at times this year, and even coaching mistake-wise, you think that just your system's just going to carry you, and you could just plug anyone into it, and it's going to be this magic dust thing, and you need people to make plays. Make plays all over the court. Two-way player. It goes well beyond offense too. I mean, we need guys on defense to be playmakers. We need playmakers, two-way playmakers that are all over the backboard. I mean, that's how you win championships. And we haven't. We haven't been. We haven't played like a team full of two-way players that are all over the backboard. And that's what we've been preaching, coming out of the Garden.
Yeah, Jaden Pierre.
And all year.
He's developed, it seems like, a ton from last year. Even just what is he able to do for them a couple of times?
Yeah, Jaden Pierre is a really good player. Could really, it starts with the effort he puts in on the defensive end. Just him and Bensley Joseph there. They do a really good job pressuring the ball and getting into you and get physical with you off the ball, pressuring you on the ball. His shooting. Anytime you have the speed he has and the quickness he has with the three-point shooting, it causes problems for you because you can't really go under screens with him. He's a hard guy to help off of. And he's obviously a clever player, and he's New Jersey guard.
Obviously, it's been a tough season for them, but for a variety of reasons. But I would assume there'll be good atmosphere tomorrow, and they'll be up for you. And
Yeah, it's always a tough place to go and play. As good as last year's team is, we got down, big there to start the game, and
14 seems like it seems to be the number. Right?
It is a number. On a roulette table or something, right? We'll play 14. It's been, but we played obviously the last. I think that we showed our quality there last year. You've got to play really well to go and win a conference game on the road in your league. It's hard to win, especially this time of year when it's a grind, and it's like mentally tough teams that have a lot to play for have got to reach down deep and find ways to win critical games that could improve your positioning. For us, it's what's ahead of us is we're trying to get to that, as high as a 2-3 here, obviously in this league, and then just trying to improve our positioning.
And you mentioned watching the film from the last time you played him. Didn't have Liam then. How much does him being healthy change sort of how you look at the game?
Yeah, I mean, just to have another good player, another tall, good perimeter player. That has the potential to make plays. I mean, we again, the message to Liam and all these guys is like, this thing has been built on like two-way players. I mean, we've had great two-way players across the board at pretty much every position, and men that were relentlessly on the backboard. So it's great to have him back in here. It takes pressure off of other people offensively. Takes pressure off Alex, Solo, and a variety of other players. But in the end, we need Liam, showing up, like a two-way player that's all over the backboard. Like we need everyone on this team, and that's been the challenge for this team this year.
You mentioned 3 regular season games left. Got tomorrow's March 1st. Like, how do you kind of weigh, this time of year where it's like maybe making a lineup change that like can raise the ceiling of the team versus you kind of are who you are? Can you be the best version of that? Like, what is like change versus ride it?
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think you think about a lot of things as you get to this point in the season. I mean, we're still tinkering. With the rotation. I mean, we're still tinkering with 7, 8, 9. We've had conversations throughout the year about, making changes with the lineup, and all different things. But, yeah, I mean, this is where we are now. This is how we think is our best way to move forward. And, with this group, and then when you have, players, hopefully start, playing better, or, doing what Taras did the other night. You don't go into the game, because, you're the easiest thing to do when you're playing a game. Bobby's the man. Oh, Bobby's the man. Bobby's ascending here. Yeah. Yeah, listen, for us, it's like, we've gone the way we've gone, to this point, and I think just as these games play out, you play the guys that are playing the best, and there's been games, I think, in the last probably 6, 7, 8 games where, Taras has played, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and then he plays, 28 or 29 the other night because he plays so well that he keeps himself on the court. I just think as players this time of year, with our last couple teams, we were, or when you have a great team, you're not still searching at this point in the year. We're still trying to find some consistency, and, the fact that we're still kind of, as a staff, grinding rotation questions, and do we make an adjustment, I think that kind of speaks to the position that we're in. But we also, too, we could be in a much different position, 3 games from now in New York City, if we're able to perform well down the stretch and create some momentum, and some confidence, because, our floor at times has been disappointing, but we've also played some good ball at times too, to give us a lot of optimism.
Yeah, I gotta ask you about Hoosiers. Did you like the movie Hoosiers?
Why are you asking me this? Are you writing this up? Oh, Dom? This is a question from Dom.
Thank you.
Sorry. All right, Dom. Yeah, I love a great movie. Yeah, I mean, and with the passing of, Gene Hackman too, right? And is that why he? Yeah. I mean, great movie. But Bobby would kill me if I didn't mention Blue Chips. To plug Blue Chips here. What was that?
Not me, Bobby.
No, my brother Bobby.
Oh,
Bobby.
oh yeah, that's right.
Was Hackman
I call him Bob, so I don't even call my brother Bobby. I call him Bob. So Bob. Blue Chips.
Was his coaching anything? Obviously, it's rural Indiana. It's a lot different than Jersey. But
Yeah.
did he play it true to life?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty, authentic. You could see the, the kind of the pressure he felt to, to win, and the stress he put himself under as a coach, like the pressure he put himself as a coach, like that suffering aspect. You could certainly see it in his personality. Suffering is a big part of this position when you're either the pre-game nerves or post-game failure. So yeah, I mean, I thought it didn't look like a basketball movie about a team and a coach that was like totally unrealistic. Because that ain't it.
When you've been there, have you ever found yourself going and looking at the spots where some of those shots?
In Hinkle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time in there, it's like, anybody got a tape measure? Yeah. And, no one laughed. And then...
Jimmy Chitwood's.
Yeah. No, you're like looking around in Hinkle, and I've been fortunate enough to be in there a bunch of times, even going back to Rhode Island when Brad Stevens, I think, is last year. And the only year they were in the Atlantic 10, I was able to, coach against those teams and be in there for the first time. It's pretty cool.
Haas is quickly coming up on his senior day. How far has he grown since day one here?
Yeah, I mean, he just from 23 where he really, where he helped us, to then 24 where he was like a critical piece. Like, you go from helping a team to a critical piece, which he made that, the 24 team was a bulletproof team with what he was as a first guard off the bench or a backup point, however. And now, at this point of the year, I mean, you win this time of year. You win this time of year because you're like your older players, your best players, like they don't want the season to end. They don't want to take the uniform off. The guys like Hassan and Sampson, like there's no portal for them. This is it. I mean, there's no, pre-draft workouts. Do I stay or do I go? It's like, the last time those guys, they've got to like lead this team and have this desperation, because there's a lot of other people in the locker room with them that, may enter the draft, hire an agent, not hire an agent, just enter the draft, may go in the portal. You need, especially in today's game, you have to have some people on your team that are keeping your group together because of, how insidious those things become. With what your locker room could be like at this time of year. So you need that from those Sampson and Hassan. Like, they know they're never playing another college game. They know they're never putting on the storied uniform again. So they got to be the ones.